Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Click share and tag someone to join us, whichever platform you're on. I see Sandra D, Frank Johnson. Okay. Across platforms. I'm just excited that you are here with me. And I hope you will click share and tag some other folks. We are live on the Love and Stuff page. And of course, we are on the Marcus Our Homes page, as well as on YouTube events, Twitch TV. I think I said them all that we are on right now. And so I want to give you a few minutes, just a few moments, if you will, click share. I know that we've had some wonderful, wonderful feedback from a lot of folks. And I know that because someone clicks like does not mean that they're clicking buy. But I want to make sure that I impress upon you how important your buy is to our efforts. And so while we're doing that, I am just going to start to tag a few folks. I hope that you're tagging a few folks to join us here live on Love and Stuff. You how important your buy is. As you can see, my volume was up. Oh, well, I've got to work at that. All right, I'm just going to start tagging some folks as I normally would. And I hope that you will do the same. All right, looks like a few folks have joined us. Thank you so much. I'm just tagging a few folks. I hope that you will. Thank you so much. I am excited and thankful and grateful. So I'm just tagging some folks. And I hope you will. Taking a few more moments to let some folks join with us. Okay, I'm missing some, right? Yes. All right, so it's not letting me pull out some folks. All right. Get it going. I hope you will click share and tag some folks to join us. Yes, 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 yes. One of our guests. Yes, yes, yes. All right, just a couple more moments. Good evening, Wendy Cunningham. Thank you so much for joining us. Will you click share and tag someone to join with us? All right, Sandra D, thank you so much. One of my best friends, I say, best friends in the world. All right. Just want to tag a few folks to join us. That's all. I hope you will do the same to have folks join us. What an incredible day it has been, an incredible journey. We're continuing to journey on. It ain't over. So I need your help. I need your assistance. So I hope that you will journey with us. All right. Thank you for joining us, those that are joining. I hope you will click share. Hello, Karen. Hello, Corey. Click share and tag someone to join us. Join us. Join us. Just want to get the numbers up just a little bit more. I hope that you will help me do that by clicking share and tagging some folks across all platforms, wherever you're watching. Just want to get those numbers up just a little bit more. Thank you so much. Just a little bit more before we get to going. I'm excited to get to going, but I want to, just a little bit more. Okay. Thank you so much. Click that share button. Click that share button. Click that share button. Click that share button. Okay. Just a couple more. Oh, no, stay with me. Just a couple more. Come on in. Come on in. Just a couple more. Okay. Come on in. Come on in. Come on. I'm tagging people. I need you to tag some people too. Come on in. Come on, join me. Thank you, Corey Reed. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just a few more. Come on, join me. Come on, join me. Come on in. Okay. Tag some folks. Come on in. Come on in. Come on, come on. Right. I'm going to share one more time, and then we're going to keep it moving. All right. Come on in. All right. Let's get it. Share one more time. One more time. All righty. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. All right. I see some people still responding to the post. All right. Good evening. Hey, Michael Flanoyle. Hello. I thought I saw JoJo Reed join us. Thank you so much. I'm just checking across platforms. Those of you that are on the Love and Stuff page, those of you that are on the Marcus Our Homes page, thank you so much. We have a wonderful evening planned. Jay Gerald, I need your assistance. I know you're vacationing, and I know you're only going to be with us a short time, but Kenyata, Roxane, is having a little trouble getting into the room with me on her tablet. And I just need her to go through her browser instead of, I need her to cut and paste the link that I gave her and paste it in her browser, preferably Chrome, but Safari, paste it there and enter there. So that's what I need her to try to do, and it should let her do it. It's not the best mobile experience, this Restream, but all right. So you are here across platforms. Some of you are on the Marcus Our Homes page. Some of you are on the Love and Stuff page. Shout out wherever you are. I just want to thank you so much for being here tonight. As you know, every Tuesday night, we're here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so tonight, while our guest is coming in the room, I wanted to pause and say thank you. Thank you to all of you who have already purchased my first ebook, which is The Gratefulness Journey Every Day. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? That ebook is available only on Amazon, and the paperback will be out. It should be Friday that you will be able to pre-order the paperback. So if you're a person that likes the paperback, of course, I'm not having a book signing at this moment in the pandemic, but I'm really trying to work with Amazon on something that I think will benefit all authors, and I can't believe that they haven't implemented it already. But God just gives me these ideas, and so I'm hoping that I can, do something special. Okay, but you can get the paperback, just not today. All right. Today you can get an ebook, and why not get an ebook and then get a paperback? Give somebody the ebook, gift them, or gift somebody the paperback, but get you an ebook. And you have been responsive. I have been working on this book for quite some time. See, Mike Flanoy likes a paperback, but go and buy an ebook, buddy. Buy an ebook. It's Marcus Holmes now. Buy an ebook and then get the paperback. And then when we can come together, I sign the paperback. Okay. I will sign the paperback once you get the paperback. When we have something, who knows, I might get to do a book tour. But I started writing this book. For those of you that may not know, for those of you that think gospel music has gone too far, I'm just teasing. That was a Kurt jab. I'm teasing. For those of you that may not know, I have been writing for quite some time, off and on. And this is the fourth book idea or concept that I've gotten. Was fourth book, but we'll get into that in a second. Fourth book, but it's the first that made it to market. The other three are more fictional books, even though one of the books you will know from being in Love and Stuff is about a member of the Love and Stuff, loosely, Sonia Charisse, her journey as a young woman when she was a younger woman in Colorism. So that book, All Shades of Beautiful, will be out next, I believe. And so it's a children's book. So, but those are the last two of the four that I started. The first two of the four are more fictitious, and because they do include some aspects of real life people, some of which who have passed on, I'm really working hard to bring forth the essence of the story without revealing the characters, because I don't think any of the characters would really want it to be out like that. So that's what I'm doing. And I've been doing this for some years. I mean, I think I started the first book around 2007, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been some years over time that I've been writing. And, you know, not big on poetry writing, but I've done poetry writing too. And years before that, some may know, you know, in its time, I did some, I'll have to find out what the right name for it is, but we used to do a live radio show, and I used to do a lot of the writing along with two other writers, LaShawn Phoenix Moore, who you will know from the poetry community and who is a fantastic writer, and Dermario Peoples. We were a writing team, and I was the editor. And so you can imagine that. They're writing, I'm writing. I'm saying, no, he's got to get killed off in this thing. No, he's got to live. No. So I've done that over time, and I've always enjoyed writing. And I enjoy a good book, even though I haven't read as many books as I would like to read in recent times, but I do buy books and read them. You know, I'm still rereading. I was reading before, and now I'm rereading Radical Candor, which is by Kim Scott. But I love different books, and I love a good murder mystery or thriller. I love James Patterson books. So I love books, which I may not talk about enough, but I had shared with people in my intimate circle how I wanted to do a reading room, these kind of digital high-tech rooms where we could read to little boys and girls around the world, because I think literacy is the gateway to a good foundation for communication in every other area of your life. And so it's one of the things that is really important to me. So I'm thankful to all of you who have purchased so far. And I'm going back through the links and through the, not links, through the inbox and through my text and through email, because I want to send you a little widget that you could use to make a temporary picture to help me advertise, or if you will do the ultimate and make a post. And well, I guess that's not the ultimate. The ultimate would be go back to Amazon and write a review and say it's a great book, because people live on reviews. But I think you have done exceptionally. And I learned earlier that the book is the #1 new release in the self-help category. So that's one of the categories that I selected to put the book in. You made it #1 new release in that category. And I'm very excited about that and very humbled by it. But it can't stay there if you don't keep buying it or keep sharing it or keep telling others to. And there is another category that has heavy hitters that I entered that I didn't expect to storm it day one, but I do want to move up the ranks, and I'm going to be in some other categories. So listen, you have to share it. You have to use the social media photo that I'm going to send you to share it. Make it your profile picture, even if you just do it for 24 hours. You know, you can do a temporary profile picture or do a post and say, "Hey, I got mine. Will you get yours?" That will help me keep the momentum building, as well as on Friday I will be doing a launch party with authors. So that will be live here on Facebook as well. And I'll be so happy to have you join that. And I'll make sure that I send some announcements around. Now, this is how things happen, though. I had planned to release this book last week during a pretty big HR conference that I was a part of, that I had the pleasure to moderate two of the panels. And I thought I would be able to get those 24,000 people that attended to get some FaceTime with them. I got some FaceTime with some people, but the book was not released. And so I ended up releasing it today, which some say Tuesday is a slow sale day. So if you have a new release, you should try to do it on Tuesday. So tried it. Let's see if that really worked. Number one new release. Who knew? God be the Lord. But today also is a part of our anniversary celebration of 4 years for Love and Stuff. Happy anniversary, Love and Stuff. And one of our most successful, most viewed shows to date is this young lady who was sharing her book with us on our platform for the first time, and still one of the most viewed shows to date. So how fitting it is that we released our book today, and she is coming on the show today, kind of as a "Where Are You Now?" And I'm excited to have her on the show. I was excited to have her back then. I'm still excited to have her now, but I'm just, I just thought about it. Here is the first author that we presented, and now I'm an author presenting, and it's the same date. Look, to God be the glory. And so I'm bringing in a member of our Love and Stuff community whose face we've seen over the years, and we're happy to see it again today, Kenyata Roxane. Welcome, Kenyata Roxane.
Hi, Marcus. Can
How
you
are
hear me?
you? I can hear you fine.
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm great. The screen is a little blurry for us on your side, but oh no, I'm looking on the phone. It looks great on the phone. So maybe it's just my screen here. Okay. Kenyata, it is so good to see you and have you. I know that, life has taken you in a lot of different directions. And so
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have you on as a "Where Are You Now?" And I know people think when they hear "Where Are You Now?" With a certain kind of expectation. But my expectation of a "Where Are You Now?" is just to catch up with where you are now.
Okay.
And so having said that, um, it's been 3 years, 4 years since you've been on the show, a lot of visibility around the show, a very sensitive topic on the show. Do
Mm-hmm.
you regret sharing that day on the show with us? Because I'm thankful to you because it was one of the most viewed shows even today. So, how do you feel about having shared something that personally with our viewing audience?
Um, I don't regret being on the show. I think that being on the show made it so that more people knew about the book, but then people could actually ask me questions.
Mhm,
People who are going through similar things, or people they
mhm,
know were going through similar things,
mhm,
they were actually able to talk to a person
mhm.
in the open about that. And I was glad to be there for all of the people. I've helped a lot of people.
Yeah,
When it comes to this book. A lot of women
yeah,
have been coming to me through email, through inbox. Um, I've really touched a lot of people, so no, there's no way I could regret that. My test was it was my testimony, and it was something that was a blessing for other women. So, yeah.
yeah. And let me say, I'm so proud that you did it. I think it took great courage to be able to do that because,
Mhm,
you know, your ex-husband is still around, right? So,
yeah,
to share details and just, out of transparency, I'm Kenyata's daughter's god dad, though I don't
mhm,
get to see her that we don't see each other that often, but that is my
mhm,
goddaughter. And so
mhm,
I've not afforded him an opportunity to share his side on this platform. So I just wanted to be clear. I
okay,
know there are multiple sides to a story because people have their own truth and own experiences, but I
mhm,
just felt that this was the appropriate way to go because I knew what you're just saying was what was going to happen. That there were
mhm,
women that were going to reach out to you and women that would need your counseling. Because, Kenyatta, what I'm finding in doing this love and stuff, while I'm amazed at how transparent people are, most people don't want it to leave the light of the inbox. They are fearful in some regards of retaliation or the
mhm,
shame or the guilt. Why did you stay
mhm.
so long? The condemnation. What would you say to women, and what have you been saying to women who are afraid to come forward and say, hey, I've been in a situation that was verbally abusive, or it was physically abusive, or emotionally abusive? What do you say to women who are afraid to come forward?
Um, you have to take the fear and just keep going. This is a courageous thing to do. I don't pat myself on the back. This has not been an easy road. It's not going to be an easy road.
Mhm,
But when you do it, every day you're more and more proud of yourself
mhm,
for getting yourself out of a situation that could have turned even worse than it
mhm,
was.
mhm,
Um, I tell women to um, think of themselves years down the line.
mhm,
How are you going to look back at the situation and
mhm,
say, I should have got out. I should have
mhm,
got out a long time ago. What
mhm,
did I do to myself?
mhm,
Think of your older self looking back,
mhm,
proud of you for
mhm,
giving her a
mhm,
chance to get to her dreams. I mean, I was held down in
mhm,
so many of my dreams.
mhm,
Um, so many things I wanted to do,
mhm,
so many goals that I had. I
mhm,
wasn't allowed to do it.
mhm,
Um, and now I'm doing it.
mhm,
And I deserve that. I owe that to myself. I've worked hard in a lot of areas of my life,
mhm,
education, career, being a parent, and I deserve to finally reap the benefits of what I worked so hard for. And I couldn't do it where I was. So I owe
mhm,
that to myself. And I tell these women, you owe it to yourself. If you're not going to fight for yourself, who's going to fight for you? A
mhm,
lot of women will fight for their kids,
mhm,
but then they won't for themselves. So I
mhm,
tell them, you got to love yourself as much as you love your kids.
mhm,
You got to think about, what if this sort of thing was happening to your child? What would you do?
mhm.
So yeah, give
Yeah.
yourself that kind of respect
Mhm.
and concern and love, self-love.
Yeah.
And it can't get any worse. It can
Yeah.
only get better. And
Yeah.
that's what it did for me. It got better.
I want to talk to you about the better. Does the better include, have you found love again? Or have you been open to loving again?
Yes, I have been open to loving again. I have found love again. A wonderful man. Um, he covers me. Um, he holds me up whenever I this is a very traumatic thing that I went through, and he knows all about it, and he's very protective of me, and that's the sort of thing that I needed. I needed someone to say, this was not okay.
Mhm,
What happened to you was not okay. It will
mhm,
never happen to you again.
mhm,
um so I do have that now.
mhm, mhm,
I was able to completely leave the area. One thing that affected me more, that I see now more than I saw then,
mhm,
was my spiritual place, the
Mhm.
spiritual community, and how I was treated, and
Mhm.
where I am today when it
Mhm.
comes to that.
Mhm.
It saddens me. As you know, I've been in church since you and I were little children,
Mhm.
and it's been a part of me.
Mhm.
And now I'm so scarred
Mhm.
because this person took what was so precious and 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 turned it into something that and manipulated me with it. And then people in the church community helped him. And there's a psychological word for that, or psychological phrase for people who help people like that, and it's called flying monkeys. So
Mhm.
that's what he's had. He's had
Mhm.
flying monkeys,
Mhm.
and that's been very hard to deal with. And when you
Mhm.
have people who say things like, "Why did you stay so long?" and victim blame, so it's a very hard thing to deal with. It's something that will take years to get through. But yes, I do. I have placed myself in another area and in around other people who
Mhm.
can be more who can be more supportive. I still have supportive people back in Michigan.
Mhm.
So that's to say I'm not in Michigan, but I
Mhm.
still have supportive people there.
Mhm.
But it just I couldn't be there because it
Mhm.
wasn't enough. It wasn't enough supportive people.
Okay. And so you mentioned how it's affected your spirituality.
Hmm.
I want to just talk about that for a second. Does it make you, are you second guessing God? Are you second guessing the church, the institution? How has it impacted your spirituality?
I'm second guessing the institution
Okay.
and the beliefs and that were instilled in me from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's making me look at the elders, at Dexter, and my parents. Like, why was I taught it this way? And
Mm-hmm.
why is the Baptist community, it's pretty much, I have found that it's taught that way in different places. It wasn't just Dexter. I went to other churches along the way, and it's a continual teaching. And it's it's taken negatively. I don't think it's supposed to be taken that way, but the
Mm-hmm.
way that it's taught, it has been. And it's traumatizing for women. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women won't say anything. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women in the church who are married and they will not open their mouth. They will say, well, this is the way that I've been taught. This is the way that it is. No, it's not. It's
And when you
not.
say this is the way that it is, you mean physical, emotional, and verbal abuse?
I mean, misogyny.
Okay. Okay.
That everything that has to do with the male being in charge, it doesn't matter how he's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if he's hurting you. You're supposed to submit.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you want. You belong to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nothing matters so much from a woman's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the man's perspective. That's that sort of thing. And then I keep hearing women talk like that, but the ones who are in it who have talked to me, they they're hurting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So your experience is that it's been a very patriarchal kind of system that was oppressive.
Yes.
And the church continues, from your vantage point, to cover that up. And that's something that has impacted your spirituality.
Yes.
Okay. And I hope that you find freedom in some other part of the institution, because that may be true. Of course, a woman would be more sensitive to it because you would experience it. But that
Hmm.
I don't believe that that is the truth in every part of the organism that is the body of Christ. I certainly don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that Jesus Christ intended that, but because I think the woman belongs to her husband, the husband belongs to his wife, is more what Paul says in the epistles.
Yeah.
But I hope for you, because I think spirituality founded and rooted in some structure, practice, and organized religion is important. And I hope that you find that freedom when we are able ever to get back to a freedom, that you find in that freedom
Right.
some place of worship where people aren't hinged on this patriarchal type of system. Because I agree, it could be oppressive. And you and I, again, grew up in the same organization, and we've known of, people in various high spaces where their husbands were, abusive to them, or
Mm-hmm.
emotionally abusive, or physically abusive, or things going on in the relationship, extramarital affairs, infidelity, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kept quiet or
Mm-hmm.
swept under the rug. It was not something that you were supposed to talk about, which is one of the reasons that I love and stuff is a place where people can talk with no judgment. That's the intent, that people won't say, oh, well, you shouldn't have stayed that long, because they don't know what stayed that long means to you. When someone is committed to a relationship and you say, I do, and you're really trying to turn things around in a relationship, you see that very differently than somebody on the outside who say, oh, after day 30, well, you don't know what it took to get to day 30.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. People are quick to say, if it were me, we all have an if it were me story until it is
Mm-hmm.
us, right?
Right.
And so we could be more careful and more compassionate when we're describing that to people. I
Mm-hmm.
think some people are curious to say that they're sometimes surprised, I think, because Kenyatta is intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
She is articulate.
Mm-hmm.
She's well bred, well learned. She's beautiful. She's striking features. Why would she stay? I think that sometimes what infuriates people. I'm not sure all the time people are standing in judgment, but that could be considered that. But I think people
Mm-hmm.
are surprised because a person like you, we might think, well, she don't have to take that. You can go out and get another man tomorrow. But we
Mm-hmm.
forget about that love part where your heart is intertwined with somebody else's, and you think that you're doing the right thing to do because it's kind of the orientation that you've had from a child. When you just go along, you follow what and pray and hope that it's going to turn out to be okay. Is that
Mm-hmm.
your mentality? I'm going to just keep praying and hope that it turns out okay? Or were you saying, at some point I know I'm going to have to leave this relationship?
A little of both.
Okay.
So I knew that I would eventually have to leave. Probably a year into the relationship, into the
Mhm,
marriage, I
mhm,
knew that I had to leave. But then I stayed an additional 8, 9 years.
mhm,
One thing about the religious institution is that they condemn you. You uh, God hates divorce.
mhm,
You're supposed to stay there.
mhm,
You're supposed to keep praying. Your
mhm,
husband will come around.
mhm,
Don't you want to be a God fearing woman? Don't
mhm,
you want to be a wife
mhm,
under the way that God puts it? Marriage is hard.
mhm,
You can't expect it to be easy.
mhm,
So these sort of things that were being said to me
mhm,
were also things that had been said to me in the past.
mhm,
In the growing up, in the teaching of what marriage is. It's not a smooth road. It's not an easy road. So that leaves a lot of room for abusiveness, for
mhm,
manipulation,
mhm,
because you have someone believing that, oh, marriage is hard, but they
mhm,
never really tell you what is meant by marriage is hard. Is
mhm,
abuse included in marriage is
mhm,
hard?
mhm,
Is I didn't have the problem with cheating or addiction, but is that part of what makes the marriage hard? It's not really clear on
mhm,
what makes it hard.
mhm,
So when hard things happen,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have your church community saying it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
remember, this is
Mm-hmm.
not something easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't have a lot to do with your degrees and your education. When it comes to, my education is in accounting and
Mm-hmm.
in business administration. That
Mm-hmm.
has nothing to do with marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with the Bible. That has nothing to do with spirituality. So just because I have an education, just because people see me as intelligent, doesn't doesn't even touch the surface of what I was dealing with, because I wanted to be seen good in God's sight.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I looked at, the pastor and the other leaders of the church as not only because supposedly they knew more than me, but also a lot of them were older, so they had the experience. And I want to do the right thing, so I don't know if it's so much. I was so wrapped up in love. It was more, I was wrapped up in duty
Mm-hmm.
and what I needed to do as a wife under God.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be I didn't want to be a loser. I didn't want to fail again, because this was my second marriage.
Yeah.
So it's all of these things that were a part of it, and I kept being with um put with couples that had been together for a while, but who also didn't look like they had what I look back on now as a healthy marriage. Theirs looked toxic too. I
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of marriages, if you take a look at them, even in public, people say you don't know what people do behind closed doors, but even in public, these people's marriages look toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I wanted to ask because it's Women's History Month, and women have had a varied experience relative to misogyny in the church, outside of the church, women in ministry. I see that Valencia Etner has joined us. She's a pastor in Houston, Texas, or Lumpkin, I think right outside of Houston. And she
mhm.
could tell you of stories of the difference in treatment of women and this kind of patriarchal system of church, system of society. What do you say to women, to younger women? Because millennials are a little different, but what do you say to younger women who want to follow in this path of getting married and feel the duty of marriage? What do you what would you advise them to watch out for of what might be toxic and unhealthy, but still sanctioned to some degree by the church?
Well, the number one thing, if you're going to say that you're looking for a Christian man or a man of God, it's very, very important that no matter what you were taught when you were younger, that you figure out what that is on your own. That you don't pay attention to, because you may have been led the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so to know for yourself what that is,
Mm-hmm.
know the definition of love,
Mm-hmm.
know the um know what God calls love,
Mm-hmm.
not what humans call love, not
Mm-hmm.
what these cute 90s 2000s R&B songs call love.
Mm-hmm.
Know what God calls love,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there look at the signs. I feel like if a man is saying, if he's throwing scriptures at you all the time, or he's hyping up too much that he goes to church and he's a Christian, a man of God or a Christian doesn't have to say it. You'll
Mm-hmm.
be able to see it in his walk. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have someone who's constantly talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
that's and I said that in my book. I believe that that's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell them, take your time,
Mm-hmm.
get to know yourself. If you have any any issues or things that you're dealing with, daddy issues or
Mhm.
self-esteem issues or any other type of issues, try to get that together yourself.
Mhm.
But I was 35 when I married him. So I was older, but I
Mhm.
had already been in a marriage before, and I
Mhm.
had a lot of hurting and brokenness from that. And there was never any true healing that happened. So it's
Mhm.
important that you're healed before you go into a marriage, that you know yourself, you know what you're looking for. Um, don't allow any sort of disrespect. When you feel that a person is pushing you, um, don't let that happen.
Mhm.
Only do things that you feel comfortable doing. Because if you don't get this person, someone else is going to come along. As long
Mhm.
as you're open, as long as you're involved in things and you're putting your best self forward,
Mhm.
there are always going to be other people who are going to be interested in you. So you don't have to feel desperate, or
Mhm.
not to say I felt desperate, but
Mhm.
um I do hear women when they get to a certain age that, I want to get married, I want to have children, and then they start taking the whichever next thing comes along, and that's just
Mhm.
it's just not a good idea. So,
Mhm. I'm wondering, because you mentioned earlier, it's a journey. You're still on the journey to healing. You're
yeah.
still on the journey to recovery. In that journey, are you still looking over your shoulder? Are you still concerned about your safety?
Um, yeah.
Yeah. And I will imagine then that might prevent you from coming back to visit.
Um, well, yeah, I come to visit every
Okay.
I think I've been back 2 or 3 times
Okay. Okay.
since since I left. So I do come back to visit. Um, I still have friends and family in Michigan.
Yeah.
So
And so, do you worry about your daughter? Because isn't she living across seas?
yes.
And
No, I
so,
don't worry about her.
okay.
No. I don't
Okay.
worry about her. She's highly independent, and uh, she she's just not, it's not very easy even to find her. So so no,
Okay.
I'm not worried about her at all.
Okay. And your son, how is he doing?
Oh, he's doing great. Um um Living his life. He's very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Um so uh, he's doing good.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing good.
Okay. And the question then, before I go, see, it wasn't as bad. I think Kenyatta was concerned. She was like, I don't know if I can do this. You're doing fantastic. I'm so proud of you. So I'm
Thank
going to
you.
ask you this. How are you? How would you describe how you are today? How are you?
um I feel free. um I felt free since 2016. I felt free. I feel even more so. I'm really acclimated into my new life.
Hmm.
Um, I'm finally back into my field
Hmm.
of accounting. Thank
Hmm.
God I just got a new job. I
Hmm.
started on Friday, so
Hmm.
I'm excited about that. Um, there's just a lot of things happening right now
Hmm.
that is going in a very positive direction. So it's been 4 years since I left that situation, and 3 years since my divorce was final.
Hmm.
So time is coming along, and God does restore.
Hmm.
He does.
And so in that 4 years, or 3 years, because I guess you would have had to see him during the divorce time.
Mhm.
Uh, in those since 3 years, you have not seen him. You have not seen him, or
Um, yes, I did. My son was still involved in a mentoring program, and he had to go through his graduation in 2018. So I saw him during that time period, unfortunately. But after that, no.
and if I can just ask, that time that you saw him, what went through your mind?
I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad I'm gone. I couldn't have I couldn't have done anything more loving for myself. I was so proud of myself. So that's what was going through my mind.
Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah. And before I let you go, what would you say to women who have made the decision and they're not sure? Sometimes people leave and they go back, or they leave for a
Hmm.
period of time and they go back again. What would you say to women who are on that fence of, should I leave? Should I go back? I don't want to be without him. What do you
Yeah.
say to them who've
Well,
experienced abuse in its forms?
the statistics say that it takes an average of 7 times. So there's women who take way more time and women who take less time. So it takes an
Mhm,
average of 7 times for a woman to leave an abusive situation, because leaving is the most dangerous time. And that's what people don't understand when they say, "Why didn't you leave?" Because that's the most dangerous time.
mhm,
And the women who are in it, they know that.
mhm,
So they have to put together a plan. They
mhm,
have to um, make sure that this is what they want. And a woman is not going to stop going back until she knows for sure that there's nothing else she can do.
mhm,
Women tend to want to try everything that they possibly can before they give up. And
mhm.
it's not until then. But I guess I would tell them, don't wait too long, because some women don't get out. Don't wait too long.
Yeah. We had another woman, Keela Brentley, who was on here, who shared her experience. And one of her girlfriends said that she was leaving, and her husband ended up killing her. And
Yeah.
so I think you're right. You could, wait too long, and thank God that it didn't get to that place. I'm definitely going to have you back. See, this wasn't bad, because I think that there are women, Kenyatta, who just need to hear that while you leave is one thing, but there's a recovery period after that leaving,
Hmm.
but it's worth that so that you can be free and be at peace and experience love again.
Yes.
And I think when people are in it, at least from what I've heard from people, they can't fathom or envision a life beyond it.
Right.
They think that that's going to be their end. And so seeing and meeting people like you, I think, is key for women to be able to know that you can have life beyond that abusive
Hmm.
situation, and you can have good life beyond it. And
Yes,
so
you can.
we're definitely going to have you back. I am so proud of you, Kenyatta, and you got to
Thank
keep going.
you.
And
I'm
I'm so
proud of you
happy
too,
that
Marcus.
thank you
You're
so much.
you got a
I
book out
hadn't even
here.
planned it this way. I had planned to go launched the book last week. And of course, I'd asked you to come this week. And then it
Hmm.
turned out that I couldn't launch last week. And I'm like, here I am launching my book with the first book that we ever highlighted in Love and Stuff. Go figure. So
Right. Right.
I'm excited. Any quick tips for me as I go down this journey? I'm going down the journey of I don't know, but I'm going down the journey.
Um, do a book signing. I did a book signing, so make sure you do one of those. Barnes and Noble are real good at helping you get your book signing going, because that's where I went. So they're really good at helping self-published authors getting it all set up, and yeah, so you should do that. try to go to fairs, especially festivals where there's a African American um, highlight. So make sure you go to those, set up yourself a table, and you already know a lot of people in the community. So of course you can have it at many churches, allow it, but all of this is when COVID
Right.
allows you to do it. Yeah. So
Right.
when everything opens back up is when you'll be able to do it in person. But I'm sure that there's some platforms where you can get started with online at this time. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you, Kenyata Roxane, for joining us. We're going
You're
to have you
welcome.
back soon so people know where you are now. You are
Mhm.
happy and
I am.
healthy
I
and
am.
safe and open to love and
Mhm.
experiencing new love. And may you
Yeah.
experience as much of it as your life can hold and handle, and as much restoration as you deserve. Have a great, great evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Marcus.
And so that was Kenyata Roxane, our very first author that we had on, who shared her very personal and tragic story of abuse. And thank God that she was able to leave that relationship, and now she has found peace and freedom and new love. And so we wish that for all of you. And if you want to get connected to her, Kenyata Roxane is on Facebook. And I'm sure she would love to talk to women to help you understand that you can stand in your truth and you can claim back the life that God intended for you to live. And He intends for us all not to live a life of abuse and hurt and pain and trauma. He intends for us to experience love as He's designed for it. I love how she said, not the 2000s and 90s music of R&B love, but how God intends for us to love. Love doesn't seek its own. It's not puffed up. So you want to experience that kind of love. So in just a moment, all right, I'm gonna need you, J. Gerald. Karl Moore, we're having a little trouble getting him in as well. But J. Gerald, I'd like for you to join me because I want to speak about love for just a second. Speaking of love, here in the Love and Stuff, we have found what I call love gold. We have found a pot of gold. Put that in the comments. Say pot of gold. If you're still here with me, say pot of gold. I'm about to tell you about it. So I need you to put in the comments, those of you that are still watching, put pot of gold. Love and Stuff has found the pot of gold. I need to see it in the comments. Come on, give me your second to put it in the comments. Pot of gold. There we go. Thank you, Beatrice. I love you. Thank you, Wendy Cunningham. Pot of gold. A few more folks put pot of gold in there. Pot of gold. All right. I'm gonna tell you. This is what I do on Instagram. I'm just starting to get on Instagram. Of course, I'm book promoting, so I do this. This is how I lead my gratefulness journey moments. I lean into the camera with a little music in the background and I do this. And I wonder if people actually do that on their screen, but I'm hoping that they do. I do this. We have a pot of gold. I'm going to tell you what the pot of gold is right after this guest. Oh, and he popped out. I got to tell you what the pot of gold is. He was just in here. The pot of gold is "36 questions that lead to love." That's the pot of gold. We have happened upon a pot of gold in Love and Stuff. And some people have tried these 36 questions and it led to being off the market. Pot of gold. So we did this experiment and we're still experimenting, exploring with these 36 questions that lead to love that were done over 4 decades ago. Two strangers fell in love, synthesized the conversation, and created 36 questions that lead to love. They did it as a psychology experiment. They were two psychology students and got great results from this instantaneous intimacy. 36 questions that lead to love. We decided in Love and Stuff, let's try out these 36 questions that lead to love. And I must tell you that the 36 questions that led to being off the market, one of the people didn't think it was a good idea to do. And so sometimes, even if it's not a good idea to you initially, you might still try it out because you just never know. And so we had, I think, 3 gentlemen, 4 or 5 ladies that participated in this, and a gentleman and a lady have been led, see how my fingers came together, to off the market. Now, if you've been on Facebook and you've just been kind of perusing, you might have seen some things that might tell you this. But we're just going to talk to them for a minute. I want to know if someone who did not participate in the 36 questions that lead to love wants to drop in the comments, who do you think it is? So just to give you the names that participated, Tasha Green participated, Valencia Etner participated, Aria Moody participated, Christina Smith participated, Darren Williams participated, J. Gerald Harvey IV, our senior associate producer, participated. And who was the other person? Bilal Muhammad participated. Now, which of those peoples? Which of those peoples? You can drop it in the comments. Well, I'm going to bring them up. I must admit, I was not surprised, but I am pleasantly grateful for this 2 people. You want to see who they are? You want to see who they are? Tell me yes in the comments. You want to see who they are? Well, I want you to see who they are. Well, hello. I can't hear you. Are you on mute? Are you on mute? Can you help this brother get off mute, please? Help him out. You're muted. What is happening? Oh, we had to put our glasses on. We can't see. Okay, help him out because I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Clearly you can hear me. I can't hear you. Now your camera has disappeared. We're going to give them a second to get it together. What a reveal that was, right? What kind of reveal was that? I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to give them a second. All right, we'll give them a second to get it together. But you see who they are, right? It is our senior associate producer, J. Gerald Harvey IV, and the lovely Christina Smith. I knew. No. I'm excited because they are open to love. And these 36 questions that lead to love, you need to download you a copy. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, J. Gerald was not a believer. He was like, I know this is your show, but I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should do that. I said, not only are we doing it, you doing it. You got to do it. No, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. And it has been 36 questions that took him off the market. He reached out to me and said, I got to tell you something. I'm going to call you. He called me and said, I'm off the market. I said, well, how so never that happened? Who shall it be? In my mind, I knew it's Christina Smith. And what a wonderful couple and wonderful person. So we're not going to put pressure on them to say this or that is going to happen. We're just going to lovingly follow as we would any couple in the Love and Stuff community, because we want you to experience the fullness of love. And it's not the only love in Love and Stuff. We're not just trying to hook up people, but there are a lot of Love and Stuff folks that want to be in relationship, and that is not lost on us. Okay. And so we definitely see that as a priority for some of you, but it's not the only love, right? Some of us need to repair our relationships with siblings, with parents, with children. We need to repair our relationship with other relatives, with coworkers, with friends, right? So love is not just this love that you're going to have between a man and a woman, no judgment, that you're going to have with your significant other. It is the love that you're going to have for God and that he has for you. Can you understand that? It's almost incomprehensible, I think is the word I want to use, to understand how he loves us through all the usness of us, right? But you got to get a handle on that, because it informs your love for him and your love for yourself. And those are critical when we talk about we're going to love somebody else. We're going to love somebody else, but my love quotient is jacked up with God and is jacked up with me. You won't do your best loving if you aren't working on those two relationships first. Am I in relationship with myself? Hello, you should be. Not in the way that you might be thinking, right? I don't mean are you having relations with yourself? That's another show. Are you in relationship with yourself? Do you care for yourself? You do? What are you doing to care for yourself? Do you love yourself? How do you know? Do you believe in yourself? How do you know? Do you self-sabotage? Do you do harm to yourself before anybody else does? Or because you think it is the expected end for you to be harmed? You got to know yourself, right? And you got to love what you know until you can evolve into being something more reflective of who you know and whose you are, right? And that's important when we're embarking upon this great love of the world. But if you working on those other two, you got to get your 36 questions that lead to love on your phone, just like next to the ebook you just bought. You got to get it on your phone or tablet or iPad, or if you're old school, get them 2 sheets of paper with the 36 questions. And you know what I'm about to say. Go on Saturday to the supermarket, to the grocery store. If you have a market like in Detroit, we have Easter Market. Go with those 36 questions handy. Go down that aisle. Say, excuse me, sir, this is so high. Could you reach this for me? He pulled it down and said, oh, thank you so much. You get so tall and strong. Right, ladies? And you say, have you ever heard about these 36 questions that lead to love? You're like, no. But, I'd be open to having some coffee with you, social distanced, of course, and go through these questions. You seem like a nice guy. That is not aggressive, ladies. That's assertive. Fellas, you go down that aisle and you bring that honeydew melon or cantaloupe, even if you don't eat either. And you hold that baby in one hand and you bring it up to her and say, excuse me, do you think this is a fresh melon? She's going to say, boy, just tap on it. Just, Feel on it. Say, I just thought out that you look like you might know about good food and stuff, healthy food. So I thought I asked you. By the way, my friend gave me these 36 questions that lead to love. Have you ever heard of this? Could I interest you in some coffee where we could go through these questions? I just want to try it out and go through those questions. And if you get to the end of those questions and you're like, wait, I'm learning some stuff about me and you, let that brother or that sister get a date and just be open to it. If you're on the bus and people, in various towns and city, they use public transportation. There ain't no shame in that. And you're social distanced, right? And you see that sister that looks good, or you see that brother that looks good, say, hey, I know we're distant. Now, maybe not on a crowded bus, right? Or if you get off at the same stop or whatever, use the utility of time and space to say, got these 36 questions and I'm curious to see whether or not they actually work. And start to go down those list of questions. You ask them sequentially. You ask them in the order that they are. You don't skip around. You don't make up new questions because you want, and you ask each other the question. Question number 1, you ask him, he asks you. Question number 2, you ask him, he asks you. Until you get to all 36. And if you get to those 36 questions and you feel like, okay, this guy's been honest and I could see myself having more conversation, then have more conversation. You might find out by question number 8 and say, and you just kindly go through the question, say, this was so much fun. And he says, well, you know what? I like to talk more. So you know what? I got hung up with you around question number 8. I'm asleep on it. And look, let me take your number. And, if you hear from me, you know what's up. If you don't, I didn't ghost you. I'm telling you that I didn't have that connection where I'm open to more. And then ask yourself, was I honest? What questions did I hold back and say, I don't know if I want to tell him all that? Because the questions, as Bilal was saying, those questions are no joke. They are designed to get you talking and opening up in areas that open your very vulnerabilities for you to want to be more transparent to this person, for you to want to open up more. Did I sell you on those questions? I'm not even a salesman for the questions. They're absolutely free. You can go Google them right now. Some of you probably as savvy as you are in this Love and Stuff community, you don't already Google them. You got them in Spanish and Japanese because you got an international reach and you want to see what your prospects look like in another country. I know you. You already got them translated in 6 languages, some that you don't even speak yet, but you're speaking into your future and saying, I'm a no Japanese yet. And I ain't mad at you. I'm just saying, try the questions and be open to it. Be open to it. Be open to it. I'm trying to get them back. They're having a little challenge. Everybody's having challenge using it on their mobile. Yes. How many of you will download these questions? Now, will they work the same for everybody? I think what's key to it is, are you going to be open and honest? If you're not going to be open and honest, don't participate in any experiment that you're not going to be open and honest in, right? If you're open and honest, which most of these people because we have more people who started the journey with us that did not make it through the journey. Most of these people were open and honest. They were willing. They wanted to try it. If you don't want to try and take a chance on love, you heard Kenyata, who had 2 marriages that weren't successful at the end, find love again. She had to be open to it, right? Even after experiencing abuse and hurt and scars, she opened herself up and found love. So you're not going to have love if you don't want to be open to it. Like, I just ain't got time for the foolishness. Then you don't have time for love. Not that love is foolishness, but there could be some foolish things around love that you have to navigate. So the man that you're dealing with, ladies, might not be foolish, but his mother might be, his sister might be, his baby mama might be, his grown daughter might be. And that's the stuff that comes with the love. So you ask yourself, is loving him worth navigating the foolishness? It very well might be. And that's the difference in saying, well, I'm going to be alone and be okay with it, or I'm going to be alone and not be okay with it. Because you can be alone and be okay with it. You can live a wonderfully single, productive, anointed, graced life. You can do that. But if your heart's desire is to be in companionship and relationship and covenant with somebody, don't put in the atmosphere that you won't. I ain't gonna deal with. If I have to deal with this, this is what I would do. And here are my boundaries. So there are some deal breakers, right, for you that you'll say, I'm not going to be, with somebody who is addicted to drugs. Now, you don't know what life might bring to a husband or wife, that they might succumb to some addiction, right? But you might say, hey, at the outset, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with this. I think you should have deal breakers and boundaries. But if it's so broad that you say, if I ain't gonna deal with nobody that just don't know how to be married. Well, somebody that's never been married is gonna be counseled on being married, but they don't really know how till they are. I don't care how much counseling you get in the dugout. Until you get out there and hit that bad boy ball, I'm going to baseball, then you're not gonna hit a home run. Because somebody said, now if you stand a certain way and swing at so many degrees at so much speed and connect with the ball, it's gonna go over yeah, that sounds good. The theory is wonderful and it's probably spot on. But until you put their theory to practice, you can't say, I've been playing baseball for 25 years, right? All right. So I think we got one of our guests finally. I think he made it into the room. Yes, he did. Fantastic. You made it. But I can't hear you. So, if you're on your browser, Karl, at the top where it has it should at the top have a place for the microphone. You got to enable the microphone. It should be right next to the camera. Wherever your camera is, I can hear you now. Good job. Good deal. All right. So this is Karl Moore, who was another one of our highest rated guests on our show. And Karl, when you first came with us, you had just gotten custody of your two beautiful little girls.
Correct.
And so, this is a "Where Are You Now" moment. So, as I understand it, I saw another beautiful Bambina, right? Is a girl?
Oh, boy.
Bambino that you just had.
Right.
So congratulations. So tell us, how are the girls doing and how did it come to be? Well, I know how it came to be that you got a Bambino, but tell us how it came to be, how you met the mother and where you are today.
I'm in a good place right now in life. I'm enjoying the fatherhood. And yeah, I got just recently had a son, Carter. His name Carter, beautiful
Okay.
baby boy, and
Okay.
new addition to the family, adjusting to it, the whole, cycle again of a newborn.
Mm-hmm.
So far I'm enjoying it. It's a blessing.
Okay. And how old are the girls now?
9 and 2. Well, 9 and 3.
9 and 3. So the 9-year-old is what, 4th grade?
4th grade.
Okay. And is the 3-year-old in preschool?
Head Start.
Head Start. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Okay. And how old is the baby? How old is Carter?
Carter is 1 week today, March.
Wow, brand new. And so, is marriage coming up in the future? Is the beautiful mother available? Can we see her?
She's not around right now.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So where did you meet her? How did you meet her?
Royal Oak, the club in Royal Oak.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so is she kind of serving as a mother to the girls as well?
Yeah, she's is. Yeah, she's.
What's their relationship like?
They love her. They love her. Yeah, my kids, they seek that mother figure after I gained sole legal custody of them. So they was always around father and had the chance of a woman being around, and
Hmm.
it blessed them tremendously.
Hmm. Do they hear from or see their mother at all?
Yeah, they do. They FaceTime every day, so they allow,
Okay.
and she just come to choose to visit when she can.
Okay. All right. Because she's still living in another state.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. All right. And so I wanted to ask you also, do you miss the life that you had before? Do you miss basketball?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not a day go by that I'll miss it. But I mean, I'm loving the career I'm in as a millwright. But to be
Hmm.
able, that career, I work 7 10s. So it's every day. It's no.
Wow.
So yeah, it's it can get hectic. I mean, it's a great career. It allowed me to recently buy a 2021 Tahoe truck. So I mean, it pays well, but my time is always in the plant. So it's always I have no life outside of work. Is what it feels like.
Yeah. Because I was going to say you could use some of the basketball energy to coach other young men, but you're working 7 10s. You can't possibly do that.
Yeah, I can't possibly do it. So, like I said, it's a subcontracted job. So I just recently finished up a project. So I got a few days off. I'll go ahead and hit a project. So I get breaks in between, but it just when you work, I'm at work every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, what would you say to other fathers out there that want to get custody of their daughters? Because that must be, how do you juggle 7 10s and two young girls, or now and a baby? How do you juggle that? And what would you say to other fathers that might be in a similar position?
I mean, you gotta want it. You gotta you. It's something. Being a millwright is something I love to do, and being a father is something I love to do. And it's if you got a passion for doing something, there's no excuse. So to all the fathers out there that is trying to seek custody, is don't give up. It's seek a lawyer, seek paralegal assistance. It's always ways and options and routes that you can go. I mean, there's really no excuse as to why you can't try. You know,
Mhm.
and as I said before, is waking up every day, whether it's going to work at, let's say for example, 4 o'clock, getting off at 2 a.m. Then they gotta wake up at 6 a.m. to take the kids to school and pick them up, and it's very tiring. It's lack of sleep, but the passion behind it, man, and seeing the results, it's a blessing. I love
Yeah,
seeing the results in my kids.
yeah. Let's go back for those viewers that may not have seen the previous show. And like I said, it was one of our higher rated shows. You were overseas, and learned that your children's mother had moved to another state. Just recap that for us.
Yeah, I was in Australia. Come to find out, I moved the kids. My youngest one was 3 at the time. Well, she was about 2 months at the time when she made the move. I instantly stopped playing basketball. I came back and I settled with joint legal physical, and I got into the millwrights, and then I hopped. I went back across seas. I mean, it's this happened so long ago. I have to rethink it
Mhm.
thoroughly. But I went across seas back and settled with joint legal. Came back, still want to see the kids, and so after that point, I seen that at that point, I seen that um, um, the relationship between me and my daughters is being damaged as far as my time is not being seen, and I seen the mentally breakdown of my she was 6 at the time,
Mhm.
my 6 year old who's now 9. I just seen the psychological standpoint of it, and the emotional standpoint, and at that point, I just said, forget basketball, came back, went for sole legal, and actually won it. I won it.
Yeah, that's the part that sticks out about you, Karl, to me. You gave up a very lucrative career and opportunity for your kids. And there are so many brothers, sad to say, that might not do that same thing.
Right,
So it's great to see a young brother who loves his daughters, loves his family that much. And what I love that you said earlier is that if you're passionate about something, you will do it, no excuses.
right.
So when you see do you have the opportunity to talk to other brothers that are in the court process. I know you're on 710s, but I think it would be amazing for other young brothers to hear your story because we need good fathers.
Yeah, I have had, some people write me and they kind of bag up from it. It's that fight, it takes money to fight that fight. You got legal fees. In my situation, I had to continue to pay the kid's lawyer, which was the guardian lineman, my lawyer, the mediator whenever he stepped in. And so, I mean, like I said, I was able to coach a few guys, but then, they kind of bagged up from it. So, it's like, well, my baby mama finally let me see the kids. So it's like emotional thing. They be heated in the moment. I want to fight for my kids, and maybe it dies down. And okay, 3 months later, they find themselves back into that situation. And I can't really force it upon somebody to go out there. But I will say most, like I said, something that most parents don't know as fathers is, in order for our rights to establish, you have to go to court. As that's when our rights established. And I would encourage fathers to do that. We're living in a time now to where people are hurt, they are damaged, and they are quick to put the kids in between their mess. It's a cycle that's never ending with the black fathers being taken away out the home, whether it's getting killed by police, whether it's getting thrown into jail, whether it's getting not being in the career, not qualifying for a certain career. And so it discouraged the black man until the black man just does what he has to do.
What do you think we can do, if anything, to kind of change that some? How do we address that?
I mean, social media is an outlet, and it's setting us back, as I feel. But I mean, my result was through God. My faith through God. I didn't look to the left. I didn't look to the right. I mean, I just kept my faith. Is what I did. I just believed in God, and that's all I can encourage people to do, is believe in God.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming for this. Where Are You Now? Congratulations on Carter. Post some pictures so that we can see. We'd love to see that. And thank you for coming back on. Huh?
I'll show you him right quick.
Oh, cool.
Gosh, he's asleep right now. But this camera's kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah, he's asleep right now.
He's like, leave me alone. What y'all doing? What's up, man?
Yeah. Like I said, he's a blessing, man. And as I said before, I would love to see more men, step up in this world. But it's something that, like I said, it's something that men has to want to do, and not just, they gotta want it. It's no excuse at the end of the day. But
all right. Well, when we have a chance to have some more young brothers on, I know you work 710s, but we got to do what we can to get you back, because I think it's an exceptional story. I think you sacrificed everything for the love of your children. And I think that's honorable. And so I wanted to continue to bring you back because I really appreciate you sharing your story. And so many people that story resonated with, because we don't see as many fathers stepping up in that call. And I love how you ended it. You got to not look to the left or to the right. You got to look to God. And I think that's the best advice that we can give, brother. So we will be back in touch with you to have you back on whenever your time permits. And congratulations again on Carter and the girls, and take good care, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. So that was Karl Moore, basketball player with a lucrative career playing overseas, and gave it all up to get custody of his daughters and to work as a millwright, an honorable position, making good money, but he works a lot of hours and has sacrificed his time and life. And he says, don't look to the left or right, look to God, look to your faith in him to help bring you through any situation. We're back with Christina and Jay Gerald, I believe. Can you hear me? Can I hear you? Oh, are they frozen? I hear some noise, but you're frozen now. Hello, Angela Wilson. Autumn says, get that book. That's right. That's right. Tell them to get that book, baby. That's right. Get that book. Sonia Cherie says, assertive. Yes. Yes. When you are in the grocery store, you don't have to bowl over the brother, but you do let him know that you're interested. You let them know that you're interested by engaging with them. Have a quick laugh. Don't just gaze at them. Let him gaze at your beauty. Engage with him. Engage with him. So that means interact with what he's doing. Is he getting hot sauce? If you know he getting Frank's hot sauce and you know there's a Tabasco, that's better say, uh-oh, brother. Go to over and pick up that Tabasco. That's gonna bless your life. That starts a conversation with him. That's not aggressive. It's assertive. It's using what that brother is doing to bring his attention to you. That's assertive. Aggressive would be like, what's your number? You look good, you fine, right? Ladies, some ladies love that, right? But most ladies are like, can I get some space? Can you just, so fellas, you do the same thing. She picks up that melon and you say, is that too heavy for you, baby? Because I can put it in your basket. No, I got it. Oh, okay, you an independent woman. I love that. I got these 36 questions that lead to love. I want to see how can we talk about them? All right, so I hear voices, but you're still frozen.
Can you hear?
I can hear you, but you're frozen.
Man, our browsers are
We
just,
on vacation.
that's why it's not working.
That ain't why it's not working.
It's the only thing that hasn't worked since we got here.
I understand. So we can hear you though.
Okay. Go ahead. I forgot you was doing that.
Okay, so okay, all right. And while I'm doing that, Autumn is reminding me, tell them, get that book. Yes, get the book. Share the book. Review the book. Read the book. Kamau is saying, Viva los Tigres. I'm not sure what that means. Long live the Tigers. Hello, Cynthia Scott. Thank you so much for purchasing the book. I'm going to inbox you a photo that I hope that you will use as a temporary picture, or if you'll do a post just sharing that you purchased the book. Because of you and people like you, we are #1 new release in self-help today. So thank you so much for helping us to achieve that. But we don't want to stop there. We want to be #1 in several categories and not just as a new release. We want to be the best seller in those categories. And we only get that if people are sharing, if people are writing reviews and saying, hey, I've started reading this. This is amazing. Which I don't know if it's amazing, but I'm sure hoping it's amazing for somebody. And so I hope that you will write a review and that you will click share and that you will include that little photo that I'll share with you. I'll share 2 photos or so just to keep it in circulation so that we can increase our sales and get a steady sales every day within the categories, and that way can then build toward bestseller in the categories. So Cynthia Scott, I thank you so much for purchasing the book. I hope that you enjoy it. It is my first book that made it to market. I got 3 other books that I've started before that one, and the one that I started third will be coming to market next. It's a book on colorism. As a matter of fact, Sonia Charisse is here. It's loosely based on her experience of being a light-skinned Black woman and what she experienced. And also there are some dark-skinned Black women that are in the book, children. It's a girl's book, really. And then I will go back to the other 2 books, which are more fiction, and the books that are coming from the Gratefulness series. So listen, in the Gratefulness Journey every day, I really try to give you the principles of the Gratefulness Journey every day so that you can put them into practice and make them a habit. I give you some of the detail of my personal journey and how it came to be a gratefulness journey, but I don't give you voluminous detail about the characters in the book. I give you some detail. Most of the characters in the book are no longer with us. They're angels on the balcony on the other side. And so in the gratefulness series, I intend to write about them and my relationship to them. So you'll see a gratefulness book on relationships with siblings, on relationships with parents, on relationship with children, on relationship with coworkers and friends. And so all of those about around relationship lessons and gratefulness lessons that I learned, and some that I didn't do so well at, that I learned because I didn't do so well at, that I want to have this series of gratefulness journey books. So you will find in this book, you will learn something maybe about some of the losses maybe that you didn't know, and you will see the time frame of how things occurred, and then you will learn more about the gratefulness journey and what you can do to move through anything that happens in your life. And so I hope that you will share widely. Thank you, Cynthia. I really, again, this is my first book to market, and so I've been writing on and off for quite some time. These books, now this book I just started writing when the pandemic happened. I decided that I was going to write a book on the gratefulness journey. I settled and said, let's sit and write a book. But the other books, some of them as early as 2007. Okay. And so, and I've done other writings prior to that, but this series of gratefulness, I think, is so important in this day and time. Not that the other messages aren't important. Two of, again, the messages are around the church, and one of the messages is around organizations. And so those messages are important too, but they have more elements of fiction to them. I really kind of disguised the lives of individuals so that they would not be, they would not feel uncomfortable about their stories being shared. But the grateful, I think people have to really look at, which is what Princess Holmes, bless her memory, shared with me, is that we have to take an inventory of what we have remaining. We have a right to grieve over what we have lost and who we have lost. And I don't mean lost, we can't find them. I mean the physical loss, right? But we have a real responsibility and we have a real calling to take inventory of the people that are still here, that are left. And what's the status? What is the status of your relationship with the people that are left? And so I think talking to some degree about the relationships that I had that are no longer present and giving you more in depth about those individuals, you will see some of the same lessons that I learned from those relationships that can power your relationships and your gratefulness journey. So I'm looking forward to getting more into the writing of those individual voices of angels that are no longer here. Angels, of course, Cynthia, you will know Anthony Howard, who was a great dear friend of mine. Angels like Stephen and Vanessa and Adrian Holmes Davis, who were my siblings. I have one remaining sibling. My parents, Herbert and Princess Holmes. All of those people who have made their transition, what are some of the lessons that I've learned from relationship with them? And what are some of the lessons that I can share with you? So I'm looking forward to being able to have share that with you. Now, we're going to give J. Gerald and them a chance because we're at 10:03. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to know if, okay. And what I think is probably happening, where's your Wi-Fi connection?
Our Wi-Fi connection is at our clubhouse.
Okay,
Well,
so you're quite away.
It's in the apartment. But it's duplicated through the apartments.
I understand that. And so you might be in, is there a better spot in the apartment where you are than where you are now? Are you close to a double wall?
Yeah.
Can you move away from that double wall?
Let's try.
Let's try. Thank you for your patience, all of you visitors and listeners. We love you so much. Just appreciative. Oh, okay. Just oh, you still moving? Okay, I'm gonna let you keep moving.
Are we moving on your screen?
No, you aren't.
Are we still frozen?
You're frozen. Yep. Okay, well, what we will do is
The settings back.
okay. Give you a second.
Okay.
Hold on.
We're trying a few things.
Okay, all right. While they're trying those few things, so you're moving. You're moving. You're moving. Aren't you? Aren't you? Okay, it's slowed down for a second, but you're moving. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I need to stop moving it properly.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, stop that because it was coming through pretty good until you did whatever you were doing.
Is that
No, you're not moving anymore.
Oh, we weren't moving the camera either.
Let me know.
Okay, now I can see you. Now you're moving. Now you're moving. You're fine just like that. So can you keep it just like that?
All right.
Okay. So look who has found off the market status. It is J. Gerald Harvey IV and Christina Smith. Fancy that.
Yay!
And are we vacationing?
Yes.
I see. I see. So we're already vacationing. I see.
Yeah.
And so I saw some pictures. Looks like you all were enjoying the beach and enjoying each other. What is this experience like for you? Uh-oh, now y'all done move the camera again. I done asked a juicy question and y'all gonna move the camera. Y'all play too much.
Okay.
Y'all play too much. You heard me ask a juicy question. Now you're gonna move.
It did show me something on the screen.
Okay, so
are we
so now you're moving. I can see you now. Oh, you stopped again.
So we'll start talking.
Okay, because it keeps freezing.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, you're moving. Okay, oh, you're frozen. Okay, leave it right there.
Okay.
Just right there. So what has what has this experience been for you? What is it like?
I'll start. The 36 questions are absolutely wonderful because for me, it started as having a lot in common with Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of the same interests.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is the gospel and love of God, the spirit of God. The same music interests. We've been through a little bit of similar past relationships in a marriage. So we know what we wanted and what we didn't want to work. And I think individually we worked on some things So it brought in a better refreshment because we're still working on it, but we didn't bring in baggage. Kind of like a newness. It's a new chapter for both of us. Our kids are, teen and up, older, so that's a plus. We don't have little ones. We can enjoy each other. So for me, it's been an awesome experience. Yeah.
And so I was going to ask, at the point when you all went overtime in your initial session, did you know at that time that there might be some connection? Because I was thinking when you all went overtime, I said, "Now wait a minute, they done took too much time in here." They were allotted a certain amount of time, and you all went over. So I was like,
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because so I'll share my experience on my side of the coin. I had said forget relationships, forget it all, and you kept sending me things talking about something. Look, I need you to get on get in these 36 questions because all we got is this many guys and we got this many ladies, and so I was like, whatever. I get in these questions and I'll ask these questions. And it was let alone it was a long 36 questions and you're talking to 3 different people or 4 different ladies. So I was just like, whatever. It was like a task for me. And it was just part of my responsibilities as the senior associate producer, right?
Yeah.
So then we got into the room, got through a couple of people, excuse me, and then Christina came along, and then we started asking the questions and answering the questions, and then before you knew it, it was easy, and I had no idea that asking these questions would work. I was the naysayer.
Yes, you were.
I was like, why are we asking these doggone questions? These questions from 40 years ago, 50 years ago. I'm like, where are they now?
Right.
So we ended up asking the questions, and then we hit it off. I met her family. We met each other's families. We've been traveling down through here doing some first time things, going to the Tiger Spring training game and going over to Clearwater Beach and even enjoying the beach because one of the things is that Christina, there are some things that we shared even in the questions and even after that we found out about each other. And then about the travel and that never being on vacation and not going on vacation, I said, oh, we definitely got to go on vacation. And that's how this vacation even started. I was determined to take her out on vacation. Because she works hard, she handles her family hard, and it's something that she just needed to do to get away.
Well, I'm so excited you all could be the poster picture of the 36 questions that lead to being off the market. I love it. And I love it when that's one of my passions is when people are connected in purpose and passion and joy. And from the first time that I saw Christina's picture, and I thought, well, wait a minute, she's kind of beaming. She wasn't just glowing, she was beaming. I said, I knew something's going on. And when J. Gerald called me, was like, I need to tell you, I'm off the market. I was like, he off the market with Christina. So I said to him, Christina, I said, and who are you off the market with? And I was so excited.
And let me say this. Let me say this too, Marcus. It's not the questions as much as it's the people. You just said a mouthful in a short sentence, and you said it's about your passion, it's about your purpose, and it's what your steps are already ordered. And to find that person along your path when you're a naysayer and you have said, I'm done. And God's laughing at you and like, okay, you done? Okay, we'll see if you're done. And if your heart is open to love, the questions are the door openers to a lifelong full of love.
Come on, lifelong full of love. Come on.
And so right now, so first of all, we played around about peach cobbler. And I kept telling all my loving stuff staff that I had to go get some peach cobbler. Right now, one of my 5 senses is the sense of smell. And right now, I am loving the smell of her cooking lasagna. It is permeating the room like nothing I've ever smelled before. You know why? Because it's not necessarily about the lasagna.
Come on
but
now.
It's about the love that's around you when you're going through the lasagna. You're about to
come on, love and lasagna.
Oh gosh.
Well, I'm so happy for you all. I'm gonna let you get back to vacationing, but I had to let the cat out of the bag because you all had too many beautiful photos going on. I said, look, I got to let Love and Stuff know what's happening. Because I especially want, J. Gerald, for the brothers to know what you just said is so real that if you're open to it, if you're open to love, you could be on the pathway with God and not open to love. Yeah. But you got to be open to everything that God has for you, or you won't get what God has for you.
And you can even be against love.
Yeah.
But you can speak it out your mouth all day.
Yeah.
Say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I don't want this. I'm tired of the heartbreak. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the vulnerability. I'm tired of I'm tired of all the emotions. Because we as men and we as men, we have all these emotions bottled up.
Yeah. And
then as we bottle them all up, God is laughing at us because he knows what we need. And if he knows what we need and he's our creator, then he has created somebody just for you. Yeah. And we've got to open those doors and get rid of some stuff that's blocking the way, including our minds that will block the way, including our strengths that we think that we have that's blocking the way. We need to filter all of our acquaintances. We need to filter our jobs even. And what are we doing in the workplace and what are we doing in life that's combining all of that to being better men and to be better fathers, to be better sons, and husbands? What are we doing?
I'm going to make one comment on that, is that also be open to a woman or someone to come in and help you grow and help you be who you want to be a helpmate. Because we're learning about each other. Like this vacation is great because we don't have the kids and the hustle and the bustle. We're learning each other, that we do need each other, that we love hard, that we care. We're family people. So we've had to make a few adjustments to say, okay, well, you're this way, I'm this way. Let's be this way together, but you might have to bring yours down, bring mine up. So you have to be open to an availability in your heart, or in your, the risk of saying, well, I'm not perfect, but I'm open to somebody helping me with my emotional side or the love side or whatever. And maybe enhance me being this man I want to be. So it can be difficult for men to do that, but the women are out there willing to do that.
Yeah.
So
And the thing that
it's been nice.
The thing that I've learned in this in this 5 days of vacation is that it's okay that you're not as strong as you think you are. It just because you did it and you always did it does not mean that you are strong at doing it. And not only that, that you may not have the right way to do it, especially when you have somebody that is a strong person and you got two strong people together. So I've had to sit aside my mindset because I've been single for 6 years. So I had to sit aside all of that and say, you know what? I'm pretty much not good at that. Or I need to listen more. And those are things that's what you have to be open to. You know, when we talk about openness, we're talking about real openness. And you've got to be open to saying, Jay, that wasn't good. That can be better. Why don't you let her do it? Why don't you listen to her? Yeah.
That's good
I
stuff.
think we're both experiencing. Yeah, we're both experiencing that. I think Jay Gerald said it better. Like, he's gonna soften my sharp edges, because that's me. I mean, once again, both of us have been single for a long time. We're used to being defensive, offensive. Blocking the shots. We're trying to live and being in the single mindset. So not be so independent, but independent enough. So we're both learning. It's a nice learning, though. It's a nice learning.
Yeah.
And it's a little giddy, and it's so cute. It's so cute.
It's well worth the wait.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, it must be, if you smelling lasagna smell that good, it must be love. I'm sure it's good, but if it smells that amazing, it must be love.
Bro, I thought it was the tablet, but this the second time for the lasagna now.
I'm like, don't you want something else?
Nope. I want that lasagna.
Yeah.
All right.
And that she loves to cook, man. God would give you the desires what?
Of your heart.
Of your heart.
Wonderful.
Open your heart.
Go back and enjoy your vacation. We're going to be tracking with you, of course, because you're valued parts of the Love and Stuff community. So we're excited to see how this goes and where this goes. No pressure. We're just standing on the sideline. We ain't going to be asking every week, now, how y'all doing? But we are going to check in periodically just to see how you're doing, because, again, I do have to find out who those psychologists were and how many of them are still living, because this is gold. This is gold.
I gotta pay them.
You owe them something. You owe them a lasagna. You owe them a peach cobbler. You owe them something.
Right.
You owe them that, because this is gold. This is gold. When you can put two people in a room, and again, it was not just two people. You all had to talk to other people, but you all got in the room and you connected to where I had to say, okay, time up. And y'all was like, okay, time up. Okay, I'm texting you.
Yep.
Time is up. Well, time is now, and you are off the market. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enjoy. We'll be in touch. Take more pictures.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.
Love and stuff, family.
Right.
Love y'all.
Guys.
All right.
Now, look, what can I tell you besides these questions are gold? Do you see how happy those two look? And wherever the relationship goes, to marriage, to children, I don't know where it's going, right? Only God knows. But do you see that they're both open? They're both willing to evolve, willing to consider each other and their decisions. I know you're saying it's early. It sure is. But you have to start somewhere if you want to be open to love. And I'm telling you, Click your open window right now while you're talking to me. Get your browser open. Type in 36 questions that lead to love, or inbox me at Love and Stuff. I will send you the 36 questions that lead to love. Inbox me, Marcus R. Holmes. Inbox me. I don't know if you can inbox me on YouTube. Inbox me, and I will send them to you. I'll gladly send them to you. 36 questions that lead to love. Wonderful show. Thank you, Kenyata Roxane. Thank you, Karl Moore. Both shining examples of where you are now is and can be a world of difference from where you have been. I will even throw my ring in the hat of where I was in this journey of loss and grief to where I am today. It is still a journey to live this life without all of those wonderful people that informed my sense of family structure. But I am grateful for the impact that they had on my life. And may the words of the gratefulness journey every day forever salute them and live on as a legacy to them. You can help that legacy be propelled forward by purchasing an ebook today, sharing it, writing a review on Amazon so that we can, again, create what we've created today. #1 new release in self-help, the self-help category for short reads. #1 today because of you. We weren't #1 in our other area of self-help, but there are big names in there who are bestsellers, some of them New York bestsellers. And that's okay. We will get there one day, but we can only do it with you. And there will be other categories that we will be debuting in as we go throughout this journey. And we need you to help us get to #1. #1 opens the door for us to be able to deliver to you the Gratefulness series. It opens the door for us to be able to deliver to you the Gratefulness Journey Everyday course, which we are working on. That's right. There are modules that we're working on that will help you even more to build gratefulness in your life as a practice. And so we want really to take this gratefulness and take it to wherever God would have it to go. And I can tell you, from a person who has experienced hurt and anger, frustration, and disappointment, that gratefulness is an excellent way to reframe energy that has been purposed as something negative into the possibility and potentiality of something very positive. I hope you will join us on this journey and purchase your book today. I'm Marcus Holmes, facilitator of Love and Stuff, and I'm proud of myself. I made it through this episode without a tear. It has been many days to get to our short read, but we are pleased that we are here, and we're hopeful that we complete the rest of our books and the gratefulness journey. And won't you join us on an extraordinary journey of love and gratefulness? 36 questions that lead to Off the Market. Congratulations, J. Gerald Harvey IV and Christina Smith. And what about you? Is there just a little room in your life for a little more love and a little more gratefulness? Open yourself up and be vulnerable. Be open to the possibility that you can love deeply, connect deeply, live gratefully, unlike you ever have before. Join us next Tuesday. We will at that time have our Where Are They Now from the dating game. So if you remember, we did a dating game, and that was another one of our most popular, highly viewed episodes. And we want to get back to those high views. We know we're up against Queen Sugar and some other good stuff, but we want you to join with us on Tuesdays. And we're bringing back all of the cast of the dating game. All of them will be with us next week. We pray. and see where they are now. It will surprise you where some of them are now, but I think you won't be surprised where some of them are now. Check us out next week. Share widely, and don't forget to go to Amazon and make that purchase. And then after you've made that purchase and read the book, please go back and leave a review. Reviews are so big on Amazon. The algorithms look at reviews and look at people interacting with the reviews. And because we're a new book and we didn't do a pre-launch where people would read it and then write reviews, we wanted it to be organic. We want your reviews to be what they are. We're hoping they're all good, but we hope that you will put them on Amazon so that others who travel to our author page there will say, hey, there's some reviews. And maybe that will inspire them to make a purchase. I'm Marcus Holmes, signing off after a great episode, a little longer than we thought it would be tonight, but I'm grateful for your presence. And I hope that you will click share now, tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to continue the discussion. Have a grateful evening.